Now, I am Citizen Jones, and today on the program, Tinubu's lawyer says Atiku's Chicago mission is a mere waste of time. Did you get that? Insists the president is not guilty of forgery. As Atiku says, only the Supreme Court can end the fight between him and Tinubu. I'm hanging out with Babajide Kolade Utitoju. BKO, I greet you one more time. Welcome.
Good evening.
We're joined by gentleman Tunde Abaton. I greet you, Tunde. So the team is ready. I hope you are. Okay, now to our first story. You know, irresponsible police officers will continue to make the job of good police officers dangerous. A constable with the Benue State Police Command, Balesa Iyenge, I hope I got that right, has been fired for raping a 16-year-old girl who was in jail. Now, under the guise of assisting the hapless girl, the constable entered the cell, took her to an office, and had carnal knowledge of the lady. The molested girl reported the misdeed to the divisional police officers at the PO. Now the constable, we can tell you, is already facing prosecution at the magistrate's court, Makurdi, the state capital. Thankfully, it goes beyond the dismissal, Jide.
Yes, we've heard of policemen sleeping with wives of suspects. We've heard of policemen arresting loiterers at night, late in the night, and taking them to a place where they slept with all kinds of things we hear policemen do. And in this same police force, we have people who are a pride to the uniform, who are a pride to the job of policing, people that are worthy mentors. But the bad eggs continue to let down the good officers and men in the police. I've said before that there are some policemen who will never receive bribe. There are policemen, there were policemen who passed through the force, retired with unblemished record. No one can say, I bribed him on this particular day. But we have those of them who, like this fellow, have completely lost it. How do you go and bring out an underage girl, a minor, in detention, and they decided to sleep with her? In this Lagos, it was the case of a policeman, a senior policeman, who slept with the wife of a suspect.
Under the guise of helping her.
You know, it just, nobody knows whatever they said before he started sleeping with her. Nobody knew. But they got him in the act. He didn't even lock the door. He was so foolish that he didn't lock the door.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, sex, God did not design sex for people to sleep with one another in the open. Have you? So if you even want to do it, accord yourself some
privacy.
Yes, privacy. He didn't do that. They opened the door and found him. He didn't lock the door. You know? So all kinds of things. There are those of them who will take people to listen, who extort money, take people even to ATM point that they should transfer money to them. Some have POS agents working for them. If you say you have not got money, they say, okay, use your ATM, your card. You know that. I mean, it takes a policeman, an unthinking policeman, to behave like that, because you know that you'll be found out. You will be found out now. How do you cover the trail? You can't.
Well, it's in the gene. If you today, you know, the whole problem starts from the recruitment ground. There was a particular way, you know, which the Oyibo left here. They said, before you get anybody recruited into the police, so many people will be involved. But these days, Nothing like that happened.
Well, I think, like I always say, that the fundamental problem we have is not only with police, our system is that there's a rot that is so systemic that it will take a surgical operation to change its tide. Because except, of course, that system is changed, we will continue to produce officers, people who take advantage of others, use their uniform or use their privileged position to take advantage of others. I could remember when I was very young, during that period, we have people. We don't see, right up to when I left secondary school, I didn't see any policeman carrying a gun. What they carry is batting. We call it Kondo Olokwa in those days.
Today, a policeman with a baton would arrest a group of felons. He used to
see him.
Nobody escaped.
And in those days, whenever a robbery house burglary takes place in a particular place, we invite the police. The police, when they study the way in which the act was carried out, they will know those people who are responsible for it. Because those police, they were recruited from the community.
That's it.
We call them community policing. That community policing is the number one sure way to get in security in a particular area. Because they know your compound. Before you are recruited, they know your compound, they know your family background. Anyway, anybody from a broken home will not have the courage to want to join the police force. Because they will trace you to your background.
That's it.
That's why I say it's systemic. Let us go back to the way in which we recruit people in those days.
Today, if it is not too late.
I don't think it is too late. Because, the fear of some people is that when you localize police, it will empower some people to assert for certain rights. No! There are certain crimes that should go beyond community police.
Joining the police now, because there's no job outside.
And it has become an all-commerce affair. It is those people who have dignity that joined the police in those days. Because it is like a teacher. It was a service. Throughout the time I left primary school, I can never remember any time our teacher cost extra lesson and demand for money. They would teach us free of charge. Because they are teachers naturally.
Jide would say yes to this. Mr. Hussein was a policeman. In those far-off days, Jide, if we mention the name Hussein, you were either passed or punished.
Yes. And he left an indelible mark. As CP Lagos.
Oh, come on.
He was not a rich man because he would rather not do what others were doing.
That's it.
You see, that good name, long after he's gone, that good name lives on. And that is what we want to see. This is his son. I can say it anywhere. Somebody wrote a book. I don't know if you eventually saw that book, a professor from Ife.
Okay.
He wrote a book about policing in our country, and he paid tribute.
Cited some names.
Yes, he paid tribute to your dad. Everyone will recall the kind of person that he was. And the thing about history and the written word is that it's there for generations. So if you are a bad person, if you are a bad apple, a bad example, it's the same way that people will talk about you.
Again, a little nostalgia here will not hurt anybody. There was a Mama Toyin, if you remember, in the Mushin area. You remember?
In fact, there was...
You, as a police, as a downful person, you dared not incur her wrath. Mama Toyin.
In those days when I was growing up, there's one they call one man Ulumoko. Ulumoko means the day the man goes out, it's a traffic word in Abeokuta. The day he goes out, you will park your car at home. You dare not take your car out if your papers are not. They call it him Ulumoko. It's like a mixture between white and black. But you dare not take your car out. Secondly, in 1979, I met Christopher Omebe.
Okay.
It's late now.
Gentleman.
He detained one rich Nigerian that I will not is of blessed memory now because of election infraction in 1979. He detained him at Ibarra police station, I could remember. The man was saying that me in Nigeria, and he detained him till the following day. He did not release him because of election malpractice. Christopher Omebe, he's so restless.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, those are police officers. He was never not looking at the face of that man. The man was a multi-millionaire. He was detained for election.
Nobody can be bigger than the law now. That's the kind of society that we want.
That's the kind of society we want.
That society was there, so it is not too late to reinvent.
No, it's just, I'm just concerned about the descent to anarchy. We are behaving like we are not governed by laws anymore.
Yeah.
And you see people behaving like, look, whatever they do, they can get away with.
They are above the law.
We must make people realize that everyone operates within the law, that no one is bigger than the laws of the land. No one is bigger than the state. So if you commit a crime against the state, the DSS, the other security operatives can go get you and make sure that you get punished. The reason crime has gone down in many countries of the world is the fact that people realize that they can't get away from the long arm of the law. You dare not do it. Some countries have dealt decisively with corruption because you know that whoever you are, even if you are a president, if you commit acts of corruption, they will get you and they will jail you. We've seen countries jail their former presidents.
Oh, yeah.
In our country, people who are not big enough to be president, they trample on our laws and they behave like.
And they tell you to your face.
They tell you go to court. They tell you go report me at the police station because they believe that I'm punish them.
1987 in Abeokuta, there was already zero-party local government affair. One man committed rape in 1957. He was jailed probably for 7 years in Abeokuta. Now, between 1957 and 87, 30 years, 2 generations have passed. The man assumed that nobody knew about it. 7 other people contested election for Abeokuta North local government. The late Titi Ajanaku was one of the women who contested that election. So the man won in court. The following week, they brought out the judgment in which he was sentenced for rape in 1957. Good. He thought everybody has forgotten.
Yeah. Wow.
He forfeited the seat to late.
Despite the fact that there was no internet.
There was no internet there. They brought it out. You see, there's something they called you can only hide. You cannot.
Yeah.
You can only run. You can't hide.
You can't hide. Again, Tupac Shakur was killed over 20 years ago. Yes. But the case, the killer, the suspect has been
arrested. Just bounced him now.
So it is possible.
It is possible, no matter how long it takes.
The irony is that this constable has actually inflicted more injury on the minds of that lady than she was actually accused of. She was accused of actually, character defamation. And under 24 hours, maybe he has been eyeing the lady for some time, I wouldn't know. Because the lady was detained on August 15. On August 16, he brought the lady out and slept with her. I don't know what is happening. Maybe he has been looking for an opportunity to sleep with the lady.
Well, thankfully, as we said, he is facing trial.
It was a reason that cheap sex was available. Because somebody in distress,
you are taking advantage.
You took advantage of somebody in distress.
Okay, then, let's go to our next story. You know, maybe it's true after all that politics is the art of looking for trouble, finding it whether it exists or not, everywhere. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Gregory Obi, has responded to an appeal by his People's Democratic Party, PDP counterpart, Atiku Abubakar, to join in the legal battle challenging President Bola Tinubu's credentials. He, Obi says, is not focused on reclaiming, is focused rather on reclaiming his stolen mandate at the Supreme Court, not Tinubu's certificate. Tunde, stolen mandate. Was it given a mandate? It's a pertinent question.
It's unfortunate, but it's a statement of fact that Nigerian politicians are, I would call them, unrepentant optimists. Because against the run of the law, Obi did not approach the tribunal stating that he scored 8 million votes, probably 2 million above the person. He never told the tribunal the amount of votes he scored. That will have, because the essence of law is to prove beyond all shadow of doubt. But he never told anybody the figure he got, and the supposed figure that was deducted from his number to show that he was actually robbed, that the mandate was actually stolen, or that the figure he got that was added to the person, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to show that Tinubu stole part of his vote and added to it. Throughout the duration of that trial, nobody mentioned that. So I keep on wondering where he got the stolen mandate, where it was stolen from. I don't know where the mandate was stolen from in the first instance. So he never, and the owners of law is like the Chief Justice said yesterday. He said that this time around, we are going to use the Constitution. We are not going to use, judgment is no longer going to be based on emotions of the people or public opinion, but the law. And law says that you must prove beyond all shadow of doubt. So the tribunal, the Supreme Court, they are going to act based on the evidence that has been submitted at the Court of Appeal, not any other figure. Like I said, Peter Obi was unable to convince or tell Nigerians how much vote he got that is beyond what he got. He was unable to tell. So we don't know where the stolen votes are or how many votes were actually stolen. But that is the onus that he has to tell Nigerians that it was a stolen mandate.
Okay. So, but Jide is at the apex court, and so we allow the court to do its job.
Yeah, good luck to him. We didn't stop the appeal court from doing its job, and the appeal court returned a comprehensive verdict after more than 10 hours. And the verdict of the appeal court is that Obi did not win the election. Obi, in my view, having not even, because you can score a few millions of votes, but there is a route to the presidency. And the clearest route to the presidency is to have 25% in 24 states. He didn't even have 25% in up to 20 states. So, if you didn't have up to 20 states, and they're asking for 24. So you have no route to the presidency. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. The results are there. I think that Obi shocked people by his performance. He did well. You must give it to him. You know, he did well. There were some conditions that enabled him to score those votes. Many people were not happy that Asiwaju didn't pick a Christian as his deputy. Asiwaju did what Abiola did back in 1993. It is extremely tough, if not impossible, for a Muslim from the south of Nigeria to become president, a Muslim presidential candidate to become president, unless he finds a running mate from a majority tribe. And you and I know that the majority tribe in northern Nigeria is very, very likely going to be a Muslim. There are Hausa Fulani Christians. There are very few. Very, very few. And a good number of them are not even politically inclined. Yes, you know. But the ones who play politics, the ones that are prominent from the majority tribe over there, they are Muslims. You know. So you can choose to pick a Kanuri person or pick a Hausa Fulani person. Those are majority tribes from the north of Nigeria. Kanuri as majority tribe over there in the northeast. The Hausa Fulani, majority tribe in the northwest. In some parts of northeast, they are in the northeast as well, in Adama. They are also even in Borno State, in a local government called Bayo. You will find Hausa Fulani people. But the point that I'm making is you can't, as a Muslim, go and pick another minority from the north. Because those Christians are largely minority from the north. So that was the calculation, and it was the same calculation that Abiola made when he picked Ambassador Kingibe from the northeast. So it was it was deja vu, because it's also from the northeast that Abiola picked Kashim Shettima from the same Kanuri tribe. So that was his own calculation, but it got many people angry. They felt it was insensitive of him. But the man was interested in winning the election. And if he lost the election, the people who were mocking him, who were composing songs, believing that he would not even win in the first place. That's the same way they would have been mocking him, that you see, he thought he could win. He didn't win. This is a man intensely hated by some individuals in our country. So he thought that the best thing he could do was to pick from a majority tribe, and he did that, you know. So, and that was what helped him to win the election.
Against the run of play, in a manner of speaking.
No, it was the...
When I say the run of play...
When you say run of play, that means that he was not expected to win.
Against expectations. That's what I mean.
Okay. Because from the beginning, he was the candidate to beat. He had far more governors than other candidates.
And I personally was surprised because I never knew he had gone far, you know, because...
No, but he started the race before that.
Well, they say a politician is a politician is a politician. So they come in shades and sizes and scopes. So I
think that you see the thing, his calculation was quite right. In picking a Muslim, he convinced elements in the far north that, look, I have one of you on the ballot.
Okay.
I've not picked the Christian from the minority. I have one of you, and a good number of them decided to vote for him. Asiwaju scored more votes in northern Nigeria than Atiku.
Yes.
He defeated Atiku in the northwest, which is the base.
Yeah.
This is where you have the Hausa Fulani and all that. So he scored more votes in the northwest overall, even though he won just 2 states in the northwest. But he scored more votes than Atiku, because in Kano, he led Atiku with more than 400,000 votes. That was crucial. And in places like Sokoto, he lost, but he lost narrowly. In Kebbi, he lost, but he lost narrowly. You know? So at the end of the day...
He got his 25%.
Huh?
Still got it, the percentage.
Of course, he got more than was required. He got more states. He got 25% in more states than the law required. So that is the person who won the election. Some people believe that some of us were there to make them happy by the things that we say. No. After all these years, I cannot go against my conscience, go against my beliefs to make you happy. No.
After all, facts, we say, are sacred.
It would be very stupid of me to say that. Looking at the way the election panned out, I could analyze it, because I expected some of the things that happened. Some of the states that people didn't expect him to win, I predicted that he would win in this state, and he won. Some of my friends, and where I said PDP will win in some states, some of my friends in the APC, they fought me. But at the end of the day, what I told them was what happened. I told them Asiwaju will not win Sokoto. I told them Asiwaju will not win Kebbi. They said, no, how can you say we won't win Kebbi? We have a governor from APC in Kebbi State. It's not by emotions. It's about calculations. What do you think will happen? What do you think? That's it.
So Obi is saying he wants to reclaim a stolen, underline that, mandate.
Good luck to him. He said much more than that before the appeal court's verdict, for the presidential elections court's verdict. He said much more than that. And his supporters said much more than that. They called some of us names. But time is a gentleman, as I always say. Time is a gentleman. Time resolves things, resolves issues. We shall see whether a mandate was stolen.
All right.
The court will show to us whether a mandate was stolen or not. And if it was stolen, who stole it? Okay. Was it Atiku who came second? Or because he has to tell us where his votes were pilfered. Did Atiku take some of your votes? Did Tinubu take some of your votes? Okay.
How many?
How many votes did they take? You didn't even give us your own alternative result sheet across the nation to show us that indeed this man knows what he's doing. And that was what the man in Nasarawa did.
All right.
Even the court paid tribute to him that he had results, polling unit by polling unit. And he explained.
All right. Jide, you just talked about time. It's time to go commercial. Let's make some money. We go on this break. Please join us. Don't go away.
In the busy traffic, your car breaks down. Car horns blast. Your car is pushed aside. You call for help. Phone battery blinks and dies. You take a cab. Few miles, tire bursts. What a day. Frustrated, sweating, and tired. Nearing home, darkness envelops the street. Wow! Just one house is bubbling with life. Brilliant lights, loud music, smiling wife, all welcome you.
We alone have light?
Yes, it's JRB Solar Energy Systems, my anniversary present to us.
No matter how dark life is, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do. JRB solar inverters, batteries, solar panels, solar street lights and more. Telephone 0906 752 1111. Email sales@jrbsolar.com. JRB, the sun is gonna shine on everything you do.
Okay, then, let's go to our next story. You know, in politics, Machiavellianism is associated with the doctrine of moral expediency and deviousness in political actions. Now, whereas Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is bent on pursuing his presumed certificate forgery matter against President Bola Tinubu, the President's United States Attorney, Wole Afolabi, insists the former Vice President is wasting his time over the academic record released by the Chicago State University, CSU. Now, the record cannot help his case in any way, the lawyer added. On the other hand, Atiku says only the apex court can end his fight with President Tinubu. True, politics, according to the late Chinese leader Mao Zedong, is war without bloodshed. But before we start the discussion, let's share the story about the perspectives of President Tinubu's lawyer with you. Watch this now.
For weeks, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, at the 2023 elections, Atiku Abubakar, mounted a legal battle for the release of President Bola Tinubu's academic record in the United States. On the 19th of September, a U.S. magistrate, Jeffrey Gilbert, granted Atiku's request and ordered Chicago State University to release President Tinubu's academic record. After the president's appeal against the order, a federal judge, Nancy Maldonado of the United States District Court for Northern Illinois, overruled President Tinubu's objections and ordered the university to release the academic record. The university released the documents to Atiku, which contained President Tinubu's admission record and transcript, confirming that he attended the institution from August 1977 to June 1979. In response to Atiku's request to release a copy of the diploma, the university said the certificates matched the format presented by President Tinubu. But the academic record released by the university stirred more controversy, and Atiku, at a press briefing in Abuja, vowed to fight on.
We must entrust these facts to us all as citizens and as leaders of the institutions charged with interpreting our Constitution.
President Tinubu's lawyer, Wole Afolabi, who was at the forefront of the legal battle in the United States, offered some insight into the issue. Featuring on TVC News current affairs program, Politics Tonight, Afolabi berated some section of Nigerians for causing bad blood about the issue.
I was harassed by officials of the school. It was a clear case of transferred aggression. I have lived in this country for, what now, 26, 27 years? Not once that anyone called the cops on me. 2 cops were called on me that day. Two, if I had a record, I would have been on my way to jail. They ran my record. Why? Because they said that Nigerians had been harassing them.
He insisted that President Tinubu had nothing to hide, as all the documents pointed to the fact that he attended the institution, some clerical errors notwithstanding.
What is important is that the information is correct, but even at that, they still make mistakes, which Mr. Westbrook alluded to. I mean, there's no perfect human being anywhere. We're not machines. Even machines do make mistakes. The president did not pick up the one that he applied for subsequently, but he had the one that was issued to him originally, and that was what he submitted to INEC. And Mr. Westbrook said very clearly that when President Tinubu applied to CSU for admission, he checked off the box, mail. When CSU issued its letter of admission to the president, he was addressed as Mr. Tinubu. Now, he said that the courses, because they got the transcript, the courses that the person who studied at Southwest College took were similar to what the president studied at CSU, being accounting. That was why it was easy, or relatively easy, for him to attain the highest honor grades possible. CSU. He graduated with honors.
Afolabi said Atiku is just chasing shadows as he failed to prove forgery allegations against President Tinubu.
You have to plead particulars of forgery, and you have to prove it. So how do you in your petition, there was not a single mention of CSU, not a single mention of CSU in the petition.
President Tinubu's lawyer insists that Atiku is wasting his time over the academic record released by the Chicago State University.
The evidence that they have, what is considered nothing bogus. I mean, it's, as I said earlier, you can't do anything with this. That is on the merit.
Reacting to the decision of Atiku and his legal team to present the academic record at the Supreme Court, Afolabi said the document cannot help their case.
The door is shut permanently. It's over. You can't bring it in. You cannot. Once you fail to bring it in, I mean, I'm talking about the stricter provisions of the Electoral Act now. Once you fail to get it in, at the time you commenced your action, within 21 days of the occurrence of action.
He ended with a note of warning to Atiku to desist from brandishing a moral compass about the issue.
I mean, this country is too big for any one man to say, if things don't go my way, let it go up in flames. We're talking about the court system in America, in Chicago, being fair, doing this, with that. But we didn't hear that in the William Jefferson saga. We didn't hear that when allegations were made that $40 million were laundered through accounts controlled by Vice President Abubakar Atiku's wife.
As the legal battle shifts to the Supreme Court, Nigerians wait with bated breath for the conclusion of this saga.
What more can I say? What comes to mind now is the saying of Niccolò Machiavelli. If you remember, he says, politics have no relation to morals. That's on the one hand. Yes. Whereas Napoleon is saying, in politics, never retreat, never surrender, never admit a mistake.
And I think the Nigerian politicians have chosen to listen more to Napoleon Bonaparte, because even when it is glaring, they are approaching a dead end. The Nigerian politician doesn't give up. He believes that somehow he will win, even when it is as apparent as daylight that is going nowhere. We've seen in this same country, Supreme Court gives a judgment. The Supreme Court is not permitted to review its own judgment. It's not permitted by law to revisit a judgment that it has given. except
Otherwise,
where,
to reverse
except
itself.
where the mistake is from their end, whether the mistake is clerical in nature. They can withdraw that judgment and make amends. But they are not permitted to reverse a decision that they had made. It's not permitted by law. But we've seen politicians believing that they have so much money to throw around and they have money to give lawyers. They will tell their lawyers to approach the Supreme Court with a view to reviewing a decision that the Supreme Court had made. Amina Auje, JSC, burst into tears that she never believed that even senior lawyers would get involved in such heresy, approaching the Supreme Court to reverse itself. So, what do you expect? If we have politicians who can approach the Supreme Court to tell it to to review a decision that it has taken, that should tell you that we have politicians who will not give up at anything. Somebody well beaten in an election, the people don't want you. They did not vote for you, but you will still get up to Supreme Court believing that you can use the Supreme Court or the judiciary to circumvent the will of the people. This is what we are seeing. What Atiku is doing now reflects the caustic nature of Nigerian politics.
Machiavellian.
Very caustic nature. Atiku is at the point, what I would describe as the end of the road politically. At his age, I do not think that he can come back as a presidential candidate. Certainly not in PDP. There are people waiting in the wings who will make sure that this time around. He was lucky the other day to get their ticket because Tambuwal stepped down at the last minute. And Tambuwal announced against the procedure, announced that they should vote for him. They allowed Tambuwal to come back after he had addressed the people. You are not allowed to address the delegates twice.
The second time.
But they bent the rule for him to come back so that I can tell them vote for Atiku. Otherwise, Atiku will not have won that primary election. And I can bet that the next in 4 years, it will be a lot more difficult. Whatever the people taking money from him say to him, because I know that when it comes to pursuing his ambition, his level of stubbornness is unheard of. He believes that somehow he will be president of Nigeria one day. But it is God that enthrones kings. Whatever you've been told by mere mortal, it is God that enthrones kings. And if God says you are not going to get there, you will waste money, tire, and you will still not get there. So, looking at what is done, first and foremost, it is clear that you cannot, what you did not front load, evidence that you did not bring at the lower court, you cannot take before the Supreme Court. This is the tradition. The Supreme Court would not change its tradition because of an individual, because it's just one person. He has not got two heads. So this is the thing. Even at the level of appeal, because what those superior courts do is simply to look at the evidence provided at the level of the lower court and determine whether the lower court erred in law. Their duty is to review the judgment that the lower court made. They don't listen to witnesses. Supreme Court has not got a witness box. So are you thinking of bringing someone from America to come and argue that, oh, this is actually forgery? In any case, criminal law is by nature territorial. What is a crime in U.S. may not necessarily be a crime here. Ask our former Attorney General. He tried to jail Orena over what Orena was writing in was Sahara Reporters. But he failed because of the issue of jurisdiction. And Sahara Reporters is domiciled in the U.S.
Yes.
So it's only over there that they can actually put
And
him
in
on
law,
trial.
jurisdiction is key.
That's why I'm saying that criminal law is by nature territorial. So that is even assuming that somebody forged his own certificate duly given to him by his university. And the Americans have said, look, as far as we are concerned, these certificates are ceremonial. What we value the most is your transcripts. Tinubu was hired because he scored high honors. He got high honors. They've told us that, oh, he submitted somebody else's result. Oh, from Southwest. So how come he scored good grades? At least his teachers could know that they were related with a man. And the admission letter showed that he's a man. Yet they are still talking about he's female, he's this and that. And you see people even in TV stations talking about female. Despite the fact that the school said the person that we gave that certificate to is the current president in this country. The person who owns the transcript is the current president of Nigeria. They know who they gave it to.
Okay.
And they also said that, in fact, by America, the tradition in America is for schools to get third parties, vendors to print certificates for people. That's more like division of labor. They are busy with other things. So it's not a new thing. In America, people even print their checks. As long as you have money in the account, you can access the money.
And you are permitted by law to do.
Yes, the bank will not take you to court that you printed a checkbook that looks like their own. As long as the money is there. Did we not hear of MKO? MKO writing on ordinary paper, and banks will honor it. So a lot of us, we've been in Nigeria for so long, we can't even open our brains to accommodate things that are not Nigerian in nature.
Do you blame us? Today, in this wise, Atiku is saying only the Supreme Court will settle this matter.
Well, I think...
but mine is, I hear somehow that in politics, enmity and friendship are not permanent.
Well, it depends on how you look at it and to what extent, if the battle has become a personal war, like it is.
I think it has become, yes.
It has become a personal war.
It has become a personal
war. It has gone beyond the limit of what a reasonable person can do. So when it becomes personal, it's fine. Your value society, we cannot go to court and come back and become friends again.
Yes.
One is not saying that they should not do that. But what I find intriguing about this whole matter and those who are supporting illegality is that, you see, William Marcel said something. He said, to be ignorant of one's ignorance is the malady of the ignorant. When you are ignorant of the law, of the concept of the law, and you are standing against the law, it means you stand convicted to lose your battle. Most of them are ignorant of the comments they are passing. And that I want to believe that in spite of the level of exposure or education of the litigant in this aspect, he allowed...
He doesn't have so much education.
Let us assume that he has become vice president of Nigeria for 8 years and he has been a businessman. Let us assume that he got, by default, he got those exposure. That you
he has exposure, but not so much education.
But you allow your lawyers, because the essence of going to study law in school is to make a living, either by crook or crook, either by turning white into black. To tell you that where there is no proof, they can convince the jury that there is a proof, and you part with your money. That means those people are supposed to live on you for as long as your ambition remains unchanged.
Yeah.
That is what is happening to Atiku now. Lawyers will continue to live on him in as much as he refuses to allow logic and reason to prevail.
Yes.
So those lawyers will continue to feed fat on him.
It's boom time for the lawyers.
I hear they are in season.
In a family, if your father is a lawyer and you are doing family prayer in the meeting, none of the members of the family will say that we will not see case. If they don't see case, they will not eat.
Or they will not see leisure.
So that is the thing. And I want to end it with a song by Sonny Ade, because this is apparent. He said that he who that God has given, told him that, look, you are wrong.
God has passed judgment on you.
He has passed judgment on you, and you are still saying that.
Where would you take your case? Where is the appeal going to?
I think that he should have saved himself this particular trauma and drama, because at the end of the day, there's something they call in Yoruba, which is a topic for another day. They say, Shoroye. He who has seen the crown, you will see the crown like this, but you will never get to the crown. Because of the way we are going about it. And I believe that if God destines somebody that is going to be a president, nobody can become a leader in all the spheres of life without God knowing about it.
Yeah.
But when you not think that with the support of lawyers, you can turn black into white.
But there's a caveat today. You must play, even at that, you play by the rules.
You play by the rules.
The rules are there.
Like the Chief Judge said, it is the Constitution of Nigeria that will be used to determine any case in court, not the emotions.
That's it.
Public opinion.
Not the public opinion. And in this case, this public opinion is
a mob opinion
of the minority, the noisy minority. I said yesterday, people in northern Nigeria, for example, how many of them do you see on social media making all this noise? But they are very active when it comes to voting. They outvote the rest of us. Those Kano people, for example, they outvote the rest of us. But you don't see them make all that noise. The people who are behind Atiku, queuing up behind Atiku, baying for blood, they are not the majority. They are just the irritable minority making all the noise, believing that, okay, something will come out of their wall of noise. But a wall of noise does not translate to electoral victory, does not translate to judicial victory. No. So I think that Atiku, the press conference was just meant to distort the findings of the CSU because they authenticated the certificate. Atiku said that they should confirm to him whether, when he made those demands, whether the funds was the funds in the certificate that Tinubu gave INEC was consistent with the other certificates issued by the university after 1979. And they confirmed that the funds were similar. The funds were consistent. They confirmed that. They also confirmed to you that the person that owns that transcript, because you are not you ask for his transcript. We have not seen your transcript to know how brilliant you are. Some of the people make all this noise. They can't willingly release their transcripts because we will see that in school they will never do well.
In transcript, it's even supposed to be a transaction between the authority using it and the school.
Yes.
You want to go to school in America.
That's an invasion of privacy.
School to send transcript to that institution.
But
it's a private document.
As an aside, Tinubu had a job with Mobile for years, and nobody faulted his papers. Could he have been with a giant, like Mobile?
This is the first time in my life, and God is my witness, that somebody who passed through university, got his certificate, graduated with high honors, high honors. The school recognizes him, the school parades him as one of their graduating students. You will accuse him of forging what belongs to him. Forging what? When you want, forgery means altering a document.
That's it. Yeah.
What is it? Can you prove that he has altered his certificate? Did he add anything that was not there? Some have compared it to even Mesoma. Mesoma altered the results. What is the evidence that you have that that certificate was altered? Even after they confirmed to you that the font and everything was similar to the others that they found.
Do you know that?
You understand?
Do you know that on the matter of Obi, just to confirm him, Obi never at any point in time during the trial, the appeal court disclosed that all the votes he got were altered. That one never came out. So how come the votes came a stolen mandate? Because if they were altered from EC8, it is that it still remains the most authentic way to prove everything. Right from
the primary source,
regardless.
It still remains
if Atiku wants to lay the foundation,
how could you get the sum total that you got and you never query the sum total?
Atiku wants to lay the foundation for his application that he wants to bring before the Supreme Court. So all of this gara-gara is meant to just lay that foundation. You know, that is the goal. And he went extremely personal, saying Tinubu didn't support him against Yaradua and all that. All of you were in the PDM together. You are all Shehu Musa Yaradua's boys. You said he did not support you. So it means that he formed a party for you so that you can be presidential candidate when Obasanjo frustrated you out of the PDP and you are going from court to court. You see, they say, that's why some of us hate politics so much. Because you cannot call a person who goes to this extent against you a friend.
A friend, you cannot.
But what can disappoint or the way politicians are is that we may see Tinubu and Atiku hugging each other. Nobody can go to this extent against me. I will never talk to him again.
Today, I want you to, what would be your last take here? Politics is a struggle for power. So Atiku is doing what he should do as a politician.
Well, I think that if you are looking for power, that power must be to a particular end, which will benefit the people. But I don't think...
You have to play by the rules.
You have to play by the rules. I don't think by the way somebody will go to this extent to satisfy...
This is pure blackmail.
It is pure blackmail and vendetta that has no root.
Because he didn't support you against Yaradua?
Vendetta that has no root.
Well, Atiku should even be ashamed that he went all the way back. It's a 2007 matter. He went all the way to bring that up. You will know that this is purely a personal matter.
Please.
And the fact that he thinks this is his last straw of the dice.
Time is tight, we must go. But I can only hope that the Supreme Court will put paid to this wahala on the ground.
Of course. And before, latest December 6th, the judgment, they are not going to, the Supreme Court has no room for all of that drama, where you go and dump huge documents on the court, where you bring TV monitor to show ordinary press conference. That will not happen at the level of Supreme Court.
Okay, we are done. That will be all for today. Our business is just to provoke a debate, based on the facts available to us. Let me thank Jide one more time for coming.
Thank you.
Tunde, I greet you too. Okay. And on behalf of the Backroom Boys, I say thank you for watching. Watch a repeat broadcast of this particular episode if you missed this one at 11 later tonight. Now, join us on Sunday for an expanded edition from 1:30 to 3:30. Journalist Hangout is also on YouTube at youtube.com/BBC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.
Following is a paid presentation by ShopX TV. Do you struggle with having an active and healthy lifestyle due to your busy schedule? Do you find it difficult to make it to the gym? You want to improve your overall health, but don't know where and how to start? Medical experts agree that walking, running, and jogging are amongst the best ways to stay fit and enjoy a great active and healthy lifestyle. What if there was a convenient and affordable way to improve your health, improve your mood, and lose weight right in your own home? Introducing the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill, the compact foldable treadmill that makes being active and losing weight fast and easy. Just unfold it and walk, jog, or run while you watch your favorite programs on TV. And when you're done, just fold it and store it away. Now that's convenience. The secret is its advanced design that houses a 1-horsepower motor that is twice the size of most treadmills, packed into a nice compact unit, powering every step you take. You get the SportX Digital Compact Treadmill System complete with a rugged commercial-grade ultra-durable traction belt, large LCD multifunctional display that displays speed, time, distance, calories, and has 12 different exercise programs, as well as a magnetic safety key for added security.
The SportX treadmill has really helped me get back in shape after childbirth. I love it because it's compact and can fit anywhere in the house. And when I'm done, I fold and put it away. Easy peasy.
This is the best piece of equipment for people like me who want to stay active without leaving the home. I simply unfold it and use it. while I watch my favorite program on TV.
Joining the gym can cost an absolute fortune, and you could be paying up to 600,000 naira in annual gym fees. Get the Sport X treadmill to save the cost and work out from the convenience of your home. You could pay 500,000 naira for a treadmill like this, but you can get the Sport X treadmill for not 400,000 naira, not even 300,000 naira. Order right now and get this for just 294,500 naira only. But wait, there's more. If you order now, you get the Sport X digital compact treadmill delivered to you for free wherever you are in Nigeria. The Sport X compact digital treadmill comes with ShopX 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied with the treadmill, send it back for a full refund. But hurry, limited stock available. So, call the number on your screen now or visit our website to place your order while stock lasts. The proceeding was a paid presentation brought to you by ShopX TV.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
The stage is set for the 2023 TVC Communications National Senior Secondary School Female Debate Championship. We thank everyone who sent in their entries. Shortlisted candidates have now been contacted from the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, and the top 5 finalists will soon be unveiled. In line with the International Day of the Girl Child, this year's debate will focus on raising the next generation of young girls in a technologically advanced world. Date, Saturday, October 14th, 2023. Time, 10 a.m. Tune in on TVC platforms and on YouTube to watch how the finalists marshal their points in a healthy debate, one of whom will be the 2023 TVC Debate Champion.
Our judges are Adesuwa Onyenokwe, media entrepreneur, founder and editor-in-chief, Today's Woman magazine. Tunji Shotimiri, PhD, culture advocate and lecturer, University of Lagos. Taiwo Kola Ogunlade, Global Communications and Public Affairs Manager, West Africa, Google. Victoria Ajayi, Deputy Chief Financial Officer, TVC Communications. This event is sponsored by Union Bank of Nigeria PLC, Goddess Apartments, Radisson Hotel, Global T-Shirt Factory Nigeria Limited, Exam Paddy, Lasena Mineral Water, Golden Penny, Yemi Legend Small Chops, Genwena Events, Are Delis and Drinks, Rewired Africa, and powered by TVC Women's Network.
Reactions continue to trail Atiku Abubakar's press conference held yesterday over some issues arising from the 2023 presidential election. For the APC, the press conference is ill-timed and a gross contempt of the Supreme Court. In a statement by Felix Smoker, National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Mr. Abubakar's quest for President Tinubu's academic records has shown us deep animosity towards the president, who was responsible for his serial electoral losses since 2007. He goes on to add that his press conference yesterday was filled with, quote, pitiful regurgitation of lies, end quote. Thanks for joining us on the last edition of Beyond 100 Days, everyone. This week, I am Nifemi Okuntoye. Join the conversation right now on X, formerly Twitter, using the hashtag Beyond 100 Days. Remember to tag at TVC News NG. Joining me right now to discuss Atiku's press conference and the matters arising is Nigerian Ambassador to Burundi, Ambassador Elijah Oyagba. who joins us live from Bujumbura. Thank you for joining us on the program. Also joining us from Abuja studios, public affairs analyst Woye Adeyemi. Gentlemen, thank you for talking to us. Let's begin from Burundi. Ambassador, for the former vice president, the issues he has raised, according to him, define the future of elective government and legitimate leadership in the country. He also says the reputation of Nigeria is at stake and that it affects every Nigerian everywhere. What do you make of this new development, and how concerned are you as a diplomat?
Well, thank you very much. One of the things that I believe that we need to understand at this point in time is that the American system is different from the Nigerian system. And I say this because a lot of people that are commenting on this issue have no idea what the system is in the United States with respect to record keeping and recognition of certificates. In Nigeria here, we call it certificates. In America, they call it diploma. I've seen a lot of people that are even calling it degrees and all of that. But what a diploma means in America is like a testimonial that you went to school. It's not even regarded as an official document. I say this with every sense of responsibility because I had my MSc in the United States of America, at American University in Washington, D.C. I also have my PhD in America, so I understand what I'm talking about. Now, in Nigeria, for example, what you have as certificate is a security document printed by the Nigerian Security Printing and Minting. It always have a security features that after you graduate from school, they give it to you, and then you present it when you want to look for work, etc., etc. In the US, it's not like that. In the US, a diploma is mainly for presentation during your graduation. You just, frame it and keep it in your house for decorative purposes. And I'll give you an example, and that's the reason why I said that a lot of people that are commenting on this issue don't even have proper background to what is going on. Now, when I graduated from my master's program, I needed my certificate, I needed that diploma as quickly as possible so I can put it in my office and use it for my appraisal for promotion. And then I reached out to my registrar and I said, I need this as quickly as possible. And they said to me, look, we don't even produce these things. And the university does it in batches. If you need it, here is the vendor's number. Call it. We have a vendor that does it and they can send it to you as quickly as you want. And that document in question can be designed the way you want it. If you want an apostille on it, they put it. If you want it notarized, they put it. There's just so much that goes on with it. But the point is that it doesn't really carry the weight that we are giving it here in Nigeria. In the United States, anybody produces it, and that's what I'm asking. Is it normal? Is it legal, for example, that it was a third party that produced it? Is it normal in the US for a third party to produce, diplomas for you? Yes, it is. And it's important that every Nigerian understands it, because I say this because I studied in the US. I understand how the US system works. Even before I was admitted in the US for my program, they asked me to send my university transcript directly to a company called West for evaluation. And West evaluated my transcript and forwarded it to the school before I was able to. So what the universities in the US regard as official academic records are the transcripts, not actually the diploma. And I think it's important that everybody understands this. And it doesn't really carry, just like having a testimonial, to show that, this is what has happened or you attended school. In Nigeria, for example, our certificates have, a lot of details, like, the class of degree you graduated, you have a BSc, and then you came with first class honors, you came with this, and, those are much of details. But in America, it doesn't even carry that much. So that document, as far as I'm concerned, is not actually what we need to give the weight. But that's not, just that. It's important that Nigeria also understand that if you read the deposition documents, there is nowhere in that document that mentions forgery. For example, if you write my university now in the US to say if they have a copy of my diploma, they will tell you that they don't have it. They simply don't have it because they've sent it to me. The universities don't even keep it. Every record for attending universities in America is electronic, and that's what is represented by the transcript that you have. Nobody has time. In fact, if you see the diploma, the way it is, it's actually a very big document that there's no way universities can begin to keep a copy of what they've given us. It's actually a very large document. So people just generally frame it and just put it in their house for, for show or for some kind of celebration. And I think it's important that we get this matter very, very clearly.
Sounds like
the former president.
Sounds a lot
But
like
again,
you're saying that they're making a big deal out of nothing. But I'll be back with you, Ambassador. Let's get back to Abuja, where Mr. Woyade is standing by. The PDP is now claiming to have new evidence to prove forgery. We'll leave that to the Supreme Court to decide whether it's willing to accept this purported new evidences and if it considers them relevant to the appeal before it. But what do you think is really playing out here?
I think it's purely politics. From what Waziri Adamawa Atiku Abubakar said yesterday, there were three key issues there. One, about Muslim ticket, then what happened in 2007, and what happened in USA. That's within Supreme Court. Now, for the Muslim ticket, Atiku Abubakar misled Nigerians, because if you recall, what happened in SDP primaries in Jos, the first ballot had MK Abiola, Wagana Kikingbe, and Atiku Abubakar. Atiku Abubakar scored something like 2,000 plus. Kikingbe scored 3,000 plus MK Abiola 2. The difference between MK Abiola and Kikingbe was less than 400. So they have to go for second ballot. And that time, Later Adwa came in and he said to Atiku, their camp, Abiola made an offer to their camp that Atiku should step down and Atiku would be offered the post of vice president. So at the second round, the contestants were allowed to talk, to speak to the delegates. And Atiku came out and said, look, I am stepping down for MK Abiola. My supporters should vote for MK Abiola. And this was captured in his own book, in his own autograph that he wrote himself. He has not denied it to today. And his book, My Life, his book written by late former essay media from Kogi. Now, the two books confirmed that Atiku Abubakar was in support of Muslim ticket as at 1993. Now, of course, he has a right to change his mind. But look at 2007. In 2003, there was a conference in London that General Buhari, as there was, Tinubu was there, Babakode was there. In fact, Babakode was pushing for General Buhari to be presidential candidate of both AD and ANPP that time. Now, but Tinubu was like, look, I will support Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. That particular alliance collapsed. In 2007, that particular alliance came up again, and Tinubu was very vocal that I am going to support Alhaji Abubakar Atiku. And in fact, Lagos State voted, and Atiku Abubakar won in Lagos State. So, and when he got presidential candidate, of ACN, there were attempts that, okay, let us put in AD component, because he came in from PDP of ACD that time. So they met him. Yesterday also, he was referring to people that came to meet him. There were Segun Oshoba, Ni Adebayo, Lama Deshino. They met him, and he said, give me some time to think about it. There was a large meeting that involved Ben Obi, Adogwe, Usman Baguje, and himself, plus AD components. They met, the meeting was deadlocked. So, late Alhaji Kaita came up to bring a form to Babakode to sign. Kaita told that Atiku already picked Ben Obi from Southeast as his vice president candidate that time. Alakadi signed. Now, what happened? Tinubu started campaigning for him. So, he actually yesterday, what he called what press conference, just a local press conference, or let me just say, I'm interacting with my friends in the media. There's nothing about what press conference there, nothing about that. So, he misled Nigeria in those two issues. They are not accurate. I quoted from his book. He has not denied the book. Or should I even go and quote my watch, volume 2, page 31, of what his principal said about him? So these are the critical issues we should talk about. That who betrayed who? Who betrayed who in this kind of context? So the man you fed so bad that in 1993 you've been trying to become Nigerian president. Like they said, power comes from God. So he should move on. There's nothing again to think about as far as I'm concerned. Thank you.
All right. I understand your position, and I'll get back to you to explore more of the revelations that came out from that press conference yesterday. But let me return quickly to the ambassador. There are some concerns that have now been raised about how this rubs off on the country's image outside, given how much work Mr. President has done in this regard in the past days. How relevant are these concerns?
Well, thank you very much once again. First is that I don't think that these things are relevant, really. And I say this because, my brother in Abuja talked about, some of the issues that came up as a result of the press conference yesterday. The former Vice President, His Excellency Atiku Abubakar, was talking about his rejection of Muslim ticket. And this is what I find very strange in the country. When something seems to be, a tool for you to incite people, we tend to just grab it with two hands. So the question is, it is not right for Nigeria to have a Muslim ticket, but is it right for a Northerner to be president after a Northerner? For example, a Northerner has finished 8 years in the presidency. Is it even morally right that the former vice president should even attempt or buy form or do anything to come and be president? So when you say that Muslim ticket doesn't make sense, does that now, so what you have done by contesting as a Northerner to continue from where His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari stopped, is that right? Is that really good for the diversity we have in the country? So these are pedestrian issues in my own estimation, and whipping up needless sentiments at this particular point in time. Secondly, I don't even think that press conference in itself was even necessary, because whatever you have, we are just basically discussing these issues and responding to them, based on the facts on the table. But the truth of the matter is that once a matter is in court, not to talk about the highest court of the land, there is actually no discussion on that. Whatever you find, you can put them together and send to the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has only one jurisdiction, and their jurisdiction basically is to deal with electoral matters. Anything you find with respect to, qualification of Mr. President, for example, you have to wait until he gets renominated in 2027. If he gets renominated in 2027, you can go and now take it. So at this point in time, it's not just that it's status bad, it's a pre-election matter as far as I'm concerned. And from the international stage and from the point of view of diplomacy, the country is, doesn't really need this nature of distraction at this particular point in time. The president is trying to rejig his foreign policy, and so far so good. He's gone on a few outings that are very, very good for the country, and it's important that the president sustains what he is doing. Nobody really, if you're discussing this in America, nobody will be talking to you, nobody will be listening to you, because in the US, for example, I have earlier mentioned to you, I studied there. You can't be talking about forgery. What is a diploma? A diploma is not even an official document as far as I'm concerned, for those that studied in the US. So you can't be discussing. If anybody wants anything about you, even when I worked here in Nigeria, beyond what you even submit to the government or to the corporate entity, that they have to write the school and for the school to confirm that you attended the school. And once there's a confirmation that you attended the school, that's fine. That's pretty much okay. When you discuss forgery, intrinsic or lying behind the word forgery is an intent to deceive you. What is the essence of why would the president that legitimately qualified as an accountant from Chicago State University, what exactly is it deceiving for? What's actually the incentive to go and get involved in surgery? It is in forgery. It is normal. It's the standard practice in the United States of America that third parties actually issue diploma. I'm not even saying that was the third party that issued it, but we're just trying to make a big case where there is actually none, and then basically whipping up of sentiment. I think it's important that people begin to realize that the president, he has come to this office through a divine way. Every attempt to stop him, he has actually, gone over, and he should be allowed to concentrate and deliver.
I hear you, Ambassador. Study, there is what happens in court, but there's also what happens in the court of public opinion. You had the former vice president taking this conversation to Abuja now, saying that, making reference to the work of citizen journalists who, according to him, continue to put out the truth online. You're a social media influencer yourself. How much of the truth in this regard is online, and how verifiable are these facts?
Yeah, if you have read the position from US, you should be able to know the truth from the fake news. But at the same time, the critical issue is that on social media you have both of the truth and the fake news, and depending on the device you are. But I know some key members of the opposition that reached out to me and said, look, listen, this matter is a dead matter, but, if you allow Waziri Adamawa to be able to ventilate his whatever we had against the election. But it's funny that the same person was talking about how I allowed Lagos to go back to the then Governor Tinubu that time. So it's an indictment against President Obasanjo and those who were there. And I think President Obasanjo, he's supposed to give us his own view on that issue. But from what he said, it looks like election rigor for me. So, and I think if there's a way, if we have had Electoral Offences Commission, it should have been tried for that kind of reckless statement. The same statement a senator made during the National Assembly, or 9th Assembly, sent forth. But you see, the point is, there are people who are intelligent, who understand that there was nowhere in that position where the man used the word forgery. There was nowhere. So, and whatever happens, I don't want to be here to be talking about legal issues. We want to respect our Supreme Court, and I want to appeal to our people that they should respect Supreme Court justices. Somebody wrote that Supreme Court justices have rejected the new evidences. As of today, the Supreme Court has not considered any panel. So how will a ghost panel?
We're going to wait to see how people react to this. But quickly, Mr. Adeyemi, how do you respond to those who say this matter would have long been resolved if Mr. President himself had voluntarily asked CSU to publish his academic credentials long before now?
No, I think he's right by saying no, because he has the right to privacy. He's right. There are instances, even President Jonathan, that time they wanted his PhD thesis